Welcome back to the channel. Let's get this channel live started. Woo.
Five, four, three, two, one, get 'em!
Man, that intro never gets old. I love hearing my son on that intro. Obviously, if you didn't know, that was him doing the countdown. So, welcome to this Wednesday's live, YouTube live, and Facebook live. And if you're listening on a podcast somewhere, I greatly appreciate it. If you could share and let other people know, I would greatly appreciate it. Uh, I know I might have confused some people earlier on my YouTube live. I was testing something, and we're definitely going to talk about that tonight. Um, Man, it's been a crazy week. Um, so I want to start off with today being September 11th, 9/11. Uh, Obviously, some of you know I was uh, not retired, but not active either, but a volunteer firefighter for almost 12 years and an EMT at one time. I still hold my certification, but I want to give tribute and a moment of silence for those families that are, at this moment still reliving the videos that come back up. Um, so I want to give a moment of silence for them. So we ought to remember them. I know there's all kind of this, that, conspiracies. Um, I know I tell y'all all the time I put my tinfoil hat on all the time. But regardless, there was men, women, children that went to the towers that day that never returned. There were thousands. Well, let's don't say thousands. There were hundreds of first responders who went back that lost their lives that day. That would be fire, EMS, police, uh, highway patrol. There's so many, and not only did them hundreds die that day. Obviously, there was 343, but the people who came to help after 9/11 that got all the cancer from the dust, that them people are still suffering. So, um, just today, it's a special day to remember them people. So, all right. With that being said, what's up, Jay? Welcome back to the channel. I saw that you saw what I might have confused some people with earlier, and I'm going to get to that. But before I get to that, I at least want to mention what's going on right now. Uh, Pulling it up now. Uh, some of us in the South, mid section of the country, definitely Louisiana, definitely need to be paying attention to this. It was a category 2 at one time. I'm pretty sure it's just a category 1 at this time, but you never know what may come from it. So let me pull this up on the screen here. Uh, it was a category 2. If you see right here, it's a category 1. It appears that it's made landfall or close to it. Yeah, it definitely made landfall. It says 7 p.m. So they're 1 hour behind us. I know that I have people who watch this channel that's in Louisiana, and I already sent a couple of them messages, just staying safe. But this is definitely nothing to be playing around with. We know that the bands on this side are where we get our bad weather. So you can see here, obviously, if you listen to the podcast, you can't see, but it is going to move up through Jacksonville and then on up. we're going to be getting plenty of side rain this weekend. So yesterday probably should have been the time you got your flashlights ready. I said it before, guys or gals, especially if you're hunting, this would be a great time to tell your significant other that it is time to buy some headlamps just in case the power goes out. Now, granted, I know you can use that for hunting, but we're not telling them that. That is headlamp for emergency. But if you use that excuse to get a headlamp for emergency and you use it for hunting, make sure that it is ready for emergency, because I can promise you, if you tell them it's for emergency and you're using it for hunting and you don't have it during emergency, yeah, you're probably never going to be able to use that excuse again. So, bottled water, main thing, help your neighbor out. I mean, if you're going down the road and you see a neighbor that's out there pulling trees, help them out. That's the main thing. You know, if it, I don't get too, I try not to get too political, and I try not to get too religiously on here. I try to keep it hunting, but if we all just take that, what would Jesus do kind of mentality of love your neighbor and help your neighbor, we really could make a difference in our neighbors' lives. So as this hurricane's going by, you see somebody in need, you know, help them out. So with that being said, I want to move on over to what I want to show y'all. And if you were watching earlier, you would have saw it. And now I need to kind of explain to you. So let me pull that up on the screen and share that information with you. This is something new to the channel. I've been working with it for a couple of days, and when I say a couple of days, it's a couple of days, and I'm not gonna lie, it was very interesting. Some of you know that I have an IT background experience and been doing IT for I don't know 20 years. Don't let your babies grow up to be IT people. But with that being said, something new to the channel that I am going to bring is what's on the screen at the moment, and I'll hit play in just a second. But I'm starting a 24-hour live deer food plot. This whole area, the cameras actually got moved since then. It's more towards this water, and I already poured that water out, and we'll get into that too. But there's going to be a lot more feeding, a lot more food. There's definitely deer in this area. Gosh knows, I don't even know how many raccoons. There's probably like 2 families of raccoons that visit my deer camera. So with this being said, this is going to be live. So if you saw it earlier, you saw me out there. This was just a pre-recorded one here, but this is what it's going to kind of look like. Obviously, that's one crazy animal out there, and you see him playing with that tree. I didn't notice it at the time. If you notice, he about to hit the camera right below his hand. So let me play it again. Right here, where I'm showing on the mouse, is a massive butt rub. There's some. I'm not gonna say massive bucks. We're gonna say there's at least a 7 or 8 a bulldozer. He's being something out there. He was building something. I don't know what he was building. I think he was just trying to be destructive. But at least nothing else. It was getting energy out. So, but got lost there in a minute. So there's at least a 7-point and an 8-point buck running around. I got one little spike. He shows up every single day in velvet. I mean, he's the cutest little guy. But the camera is now moved towards the feeder, and I'm probably going to move the feeder. I got some automatic feeders coming out, so I know a lot of these deer are nocturnal. I really want to move with the automatic feeder, trying to get them more in the daytime. Obviously, I'm not going to be hunting these on live camera. Uh, Highly against YouTube and Facebook's not, I guess that'd be policy, but there's going to be more to come. That's all I can say. There's more to come, and obviously you can see from this video that it's going to be live. So when you see the live button up on the YouTube, definitely check it out. You're no telling what you're going to see. I know there's a bunch of crows. I know that there's a bunch of doves coming to eat corn, raccoons. I got a cat that is not mine. He has a name. He looks like an Oreo, but my son calls him Elon. So Mr. I don't even know if it's a Mr. So we're gonna go on it's a Mr. I don't know. But Mr. Elon comes through at least twice a day. I really don't, like I said, I'm not sure if it's a male or female, but the cat comes by at least 2 times a day. But there's going to be a lot more to come on this for sure. And when I told you earlier that I got a IT background, when I say this project has been whooping my butt, it's been whooping my butt. I could not get it to work in a small lab, and I fought and fought and fought, and I finally figured it out. And it was a network issue. But you know, when you can't figure something out, you got to go to YouTube to figure it out. So I'll go to YouTube and I'll watch these videos of these older gentlemen doing it, and I'm like, yeah, I've been doing IT 20 years and I can't figure this out, but I got to figure it out. Maybe I'll do maybe I'll do a video. It really came down to a little network setting and the brand camera that I used. So far, I probably got, I don't know, it's under $100 in the setup. Now, granted, I already got the computer and all the other stuff, network, switch, which would have to be a power over Ethernet. So if you don't know what power over Ethernet, you got to give that camera power. So I had to buy a power over Ethernet switch and then a camera. So that's where we're going. So I definitely wanted to give y'all an update on that. Not going to hold y'all on too long tonight because, to tell you honestly, I don't have a charger for my computer. I was downstairs working on all this live, getting it all together, and I forgot to bring my charger. So the boat is like normal. It's always sinking. We're taking on water and we're losing battery. So that's the main thing I wanted to come on tonight. I got some guests that's coming up this coming week. Definitely next week, we should have some good recipes coming back on. Ronnie's going to be coming on to talk cooking. So you never know what that recipe might be. I'm lined up a couple more people. I'm just not letting any cats out of the bag yet. But the main thing to the channel is the new live feed. So definitely keep an eye on that. There's going to be a lot of stuff coming to it. A lot of food, a lot of corn. Obviously, if you live near me and you got apples and apples halfway go bad or something like that, definitely reach out to me. I'd be glad to pick them up, feed these critters. So that's about it. Definitely want to give a shout out to my Gamecocks this week. I really don't know how that's going to go down. I was, us Gamecocks, we really only look out for one game, and that's the game at the end of the season. It didn't look too bad last week. So who knows? Uh, Georgia is looking really good this year. I'm glad that you know the Gamecocks don't have to play Georgia this year because that would look pretty bad. That's Georgia's looking pretty daggone good, and I know Jay Bird's in here, and he's a big Georgia fan. But Thursday night, you got a couple games Thursday night, Friday. Obviously, Alabama's playing Saturday. Carolina gets LSU. LSU's at least ranked. Uh, Florida State this weekend. Ooh, could they do any worser? I know that ain't a word, but that's if you had to describe Florida State, worser would definitely be the word that I would tend to use. But there's a lot of good games this weekend. So I don't know. We shall see where the cards fall and see where the ranking goes. But man, I am glad. I am glad to see football back on. I am tired of political stuff. I'm tired of. I tried to watch that last night and just turned it off. I couldn't take neither one of them. So that's just my truth. But I'm ready for football. I'm ready for football. I'm ready for deer season. I'm ready for teal season. Let me bring real quick before my battery dies, if it don't die while I'm streaming. But I do want to show this again. Let me pull up the radar because this is what we got to look forward to next time. All right, look at this, y'all. So here's the one that we're currently at. We got one that may develop off the coast. I think it's going to probably stay off the coast. But look at this out here. This is already forming, and then two more. So teal season starts, I think, Saturday. Yes, Saturday. This coming Saturday for South Carolina. I wasn't going this weekend. I plan to go next weekend. But with this hurricane, what is that going to do to teal season? The pressure changes, the cold temperature. I have no idea. And to tell you honestly, to be out in a kayak on the coast is kind of iffy also. But we're going to have a good time at it. So y'all check in. We'll be back next Wednesday on 8 o'clock doing the lives. That is not changing, but definitely be on the lookout for the deer feeder. I need to come up with a name. So comment on the other lives. I got to figure out actually how to make the comments work because the comments didn't even work on the other one. So it's a learning experience. And guess what? Y'all coming along with me. So until next week, I want to say I appreciate you. And I appreciate all the ones that passed away, the ones who struggled through 9/11. And I want to remember the families who are still living through 9/11. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, it's been a long time, and it never gets old seeing that plane crash. And again, I know I'll put my tinfoil hat on like the rest of you, but a plane was a plane versus building fall down and thousands of people paid the price that day, the day after, weeks, months, and years, and people are still paying that sacrifice. So, hi, that's all I can say on that. And I appreciate each one of y'all. And I'll see y'all next week. Matthew Knight with Satura Investors out of Charlotte. There's the information. The link to his website is scrolling across the the banner down at the bottom, and it's also in the description. Today's episode is about helping business owners and working professionals like you who share a passion for the outdoors, shooting sports, zeroing them in to their long-term financial goals. So if you need any information or contact or any other questions, contact Matthew. Also, go check out Salt Creek Ammo. This triple curl TSS is some of the best TSS I have ever shot. This is for waterfowl edition. It's made for waterfowl. So if you're going to shoot a species that you've been chasing for a long time, don't use no cheap ammo. You pay good money to go on a trip. You got great guns. Don't cheap out on cheap ammunition. This TSS is amazing. It's got number 7s, number 8s, and he has number 9s. So go check out saltcreekammo.com. Here you will find any kind of ammo you're looking for. He has custom loads, TSS in 10 gauge, 12 gauge, 20 gauge, low pressure ammunition. You got Predator ammunition, turkey ammunition, anything you're looking for, give Keith a call. Also to the channel, Kicks Industries, most people will know them as Kick Chokes, has came on board, and I have done a bunch of series lately on waterfowl choke tubes, turkey choke tubes, deer choke tubes. So go check out Kick's website for all of the chokes that can fit your guns. Flint Ridge Hauling Service, LLC, has partnered up with the channel. It is your go-to provider for all your hauling needs. They are not just any hauling service. They are an active DOT interstate hotshot hauling provider. Flint Ridge Service, LLC, prides itself in its reliable transportation services. This team ensures that your cargo is delivered safely and on time no matter the distance. Whether you need to transport goods across the county or state line, they have the capacity and the expertise to meet your hauling needs. Equipped with a smooth riding 40